It's 10 p.m. Your phone's glowing. Another email, another message you didn't reply to. You're staring at the screen, wondering why you're still awake, why it feels like you're always catching up, always one step behind. The world's moving fast, and you're running to keep up. Your mind's racing. Did you say the wrong thing in that meeting? Should you have posted that story? Will that client ever get back to you? It's loud. Not just the world, your head. You're tired. Not just from work, from trying to control it all, from chasing. What if you stopped? Just for a moment. What if you didn't have to chase anything? What if what's meant for you is already finding its way? This isn't about answers. It's about breathing, about being still in a world that never stops. If this feels familiar, leave a word below. Not for me, not for fame, but for someone else who's scrolling tonight, looking for a moment to breathe. Just a sign, something quiet, like here or same. So this finds them too. You're sitting at your desk, paper scattered, laptop open, notifications piling up. You're waiting for a reply, for a like, for a sign that you're doing it right. You've been refreshing your inbox, checking your phone over and over. You sent that pitch 2 days ago. No response. You texted someone you like. They read it. Nothing back. You posted something online. It didn't get the traction you hoped. You're chasing, not just results, but feelings, approval, certainty, control. And it's heavy. You feel it in your chest, that tightness, that knot. You're running, but you're not getting anywhere. You're trying to hold it all together, but it's slipping through your fingers. What if you let it slip? What if you didn't need to hold it so tight? What if you just let it be? You've been here before. Late nights, overthinking. You're good at it. Too good. You replay that conversation from work. Did you sound confident enough? You think about that date last week? Did you come off too eager? You wonder if you're falling behind. Everyone else seems to have it figured out. Their posts, their jobs, their lives. And you? You're still running, trying to catch up, trying to prove something. To who? To them? To yourself? It's exhausting. Not the work, not the hustle, but the weight. The weight of wanting it all to work out. Exactly how you planned. You're chasing a version of yourself, a version of your life. One where everything clicks. But the harder you chase, the further it feels. Pause. Right now. Take a breath. Not a big one. Just enough. Feel the air. In, out. You don't need to fix anything. You don't need to solve it all. You just need to be here. For one moment. Still. The world's still spinning. The emails are still there. The worries haven't gone anywhere. But you can stop. You can choose to be quiet. Not forever. Just for now. Notice your hands. Are they tense? Notice your shoulders. Are they tight? Notice your thoughts. Are they racing? You don't have to chase them. You don't have to catch them. Let them pass. Like clouds. They're not you. They're just noise. You've tried controlling it all. You've made the plans, set the goals, worked the long hours, and it's gotten you far. You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're driven. But driven where? To another late night? To another moment of doubt? You've been told to keep pushing, to hustle harder, to never let go. But what if that's the problem? What if holding on so tight is what's holding you back? You don't need to control the outcome. You don't need to force the reply. You don't need to make them like you. You just need to show up, do your part, and let it go. That's not giving up. That's freedom. Think about the last time you felt light. Not happy. Not perfect. Just light. Maybe it was a moment alone, driving with the windows down. No phone, no agenda, just you. Or maybe it was a conversation, one where you didn't need to impress. You just spoke, and it felt easy. Those moments, they weren't planned. They weren't forced. They just happened, because you weren't chasing. You were just there, present. What if you could live like that? Not all the time, but more often. What if you didn't need to run? What if you could just be? You're not alone in this. You're not the only one staring at a screen, wondering if you're enough. You're not the only one refreshing an inbox, hoping for a break. You're not the only one lying awake, replaying the day. It's not just you. The world's loud. It's fast. It's relentless. And it's easy to get swept up, to feel like you're drowning in it. But you're not. You're here. You're breathing. And you can choose not to fight the noise, not to chase the noise, but to step back, to be still, to let it pass. You've been chasing for so long. You've forgotten what it's like to stop, to just exist, without a goal, without a plan, without a need to prove anything. You're not a machine, you're not a checklist, you're not your notifications, you're just you. And that's enough, not in some cheesy way, not in some big inspirational way, just in a quiet way, a true way. You don't need to be more, you don't need to do more, you just need to be here, right now, and let everything else fall away. You sent that email yesterday, the one you spent an hour writing, rewriting, perfecting. You hit send, and now you're checking every hour, every half hour, nothing. Your stomach twists. Did you say something wrong? Did they hate it? Are you out of the running? You're chasing again. Not just the reply, but the feeling of being wanted, of being enough. What if you didn't need that reply to feel okay? What if you did your part and that was enough? What if you trusted that the right thing will find you? Not because you forced it, but because you let it come. You've been here before, waiting, hoping. It's not just emails. It's texts. It's opportunities. It's people. You put yourself out there, and then you wait. And the waiting, it's brutal. It's not the silence that gets you. It's the stories you tell yourself. They don't like me. I'm not good enough. I messed up. Your mind's a battlefield, and you're fighting a war against yourself. But what if you stopped fighting? What if you didn't need to win? What if you could just let it be? Let the silence be silence. Let the waiting be waiting. Let the outcome be whatever it is. Pause again, right now. Close your eyes if you can. Or just look away from the screen. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the weight of your body. You're here. You're not floating away. You're not falling apart. You're just here. And that's enough. You don't need to chase the next moment. You don't need to fix this one. You just need to notice it. The air, the sounds, the quiet. It's not perfect. It's not magical. It's just real. And real is enough. You've been told to control everything. Your career, your relationships, your image. You've been told to plan every step, to optimize every hour, to never miss a beat. And you've tried. You've got the apps, the schedules, the reminders. But it's never enough. There's always another email, another goal, another thing you didn't do. And the more you try to control, the more it slips away. The more you chase, the heavier it feels. What if you didn't need to control it all? What if you could just do your part and trust? Trust that it's enough. Trust that you're enough. You're not failing. You're not behind. You're just human. And humans aren't meant to run forever. They're meant to rest, to breathe, to be. You've been running so long. You've forgotten what that feels like. To just sit, to just listen, to just let things be. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to know what's next. You just need to be here, right now. And let the world do its thing. Let the outcomes do their thing. Let life do its thing. You've had moments like this before. Moments where it all felt okay. Not perfect. Not solved. Just okay. Maybe it was a walk. No phone. No music. Just you and the air. Or maybe it was a coffee shop. Sitting alone. Watching people pass by. No agenda. No rush. Those moments weren't loud. They weren't big. They were just quiet. And in that quiet, you felt something. Not happiness, not success, just ease. What if you could find that ease again? Not by chasing it, but by letting it find you. You're checking your phone again. You don't even know why. Habit, reflex. You're looking for something, a message, a notification, a distraction, anything to fill the silence. But the silence isn't the problem. The chasing is. You're chasing a feeling, a moment, a version of yourself that's always just out of reach. What if you didn't need to find it? What if it's already here? In the quiet, in the pause, in the moment you stop running. You've been angry. Not loud angry, quiet angry. At yourself, at the world, at the way things aren't working out. You sent that proposal. No reply. You tried to connect with someone. They ghosted. You worked hard on something. It flopped, and it stings. Not because it failed, but because you're carrying it. You're holding on to the anger, the frustration, the need for it to be different. What if you let it go? Not because it doesn't matter, but because it doesn't need to define you. You're not your failures. You're not your wins. You're not your inbox. You're not your followers. You're just you. And you're here. Right now. That's all that matters. Not what happened yesterday. Not what might happen tomorrow. Just this breath, this moment. You don't need to chase the next one. You don't need to fix this one. You just need to live it. Quietly, simply, fully. You've been trying to be someone better, someone stronger, someone who doesn't doubt, doesn't overthink, doesn't mess up. And it's exhausting. Not because you're not enough, but because you're trying to be more than you need to be. You're enough right now. Not when you get the job, not when you get the reply, not when you figure it all out. Right now. As you are, messy, tired, human, that's enough. Pause again. Feel your breath. In. Out. You're not running. You're not chasing. You're just here. And here is enough. The world's still loud. The emails are still waiting. The worries are still there. But you don't have to carry them. You don't have to chase them. You can just let them be. And let yourself be. Still. Quiet. Free. You've been waiting for a sign. Something to tell you it's okay. That you're on the right path. That you're not wasting your time. But signs don't come when you chase them. They come when you're still. When you're open. When you're not trying to force them. You've seen it before. That random email that came just when you needed it. That conversation that shifted everything. That moment of clarity that hit out of nowhere. Those weren't planned. They weren't forced. They just found you. Because you were there. Ready, quiet. You don't need to control the future. You don't need to predict it. You don't need to make it perfect. You just need to show up. Do what you can. Be who you are. And trust. Not in some big cosmic way. Not in some mystical way. Just in a simple way. Trust that you're enough. Trust that what's meant for you will find you. Not because you chased it, but because you let it come. You're sitting in traffic. It's slow. You're late. Your mind's already at the meeting. Already imagining what you'll say. How you'll sound. What they'll think. You're chasing again. Chasing the perfect moment. The perfect impression. The perfect outcome. But you're here. In this car. In this moment. What if you just stayed here? Noticed the sound of the engine. The feel of the wheel. The rhythm of your breath. What if this moment was enough? You've been hard on yourself. Too hard. You didn't get the gig. You didn't nail the presentation. You didn't say the right thing. And you're carrying it. Like a weight. Like a proof that you're not enough. But you're not your mistakes. You're not your misses. You're just you. And you're trying. That's enough. Not because it has to be. But because it is. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be flawless. You just need to be here. You've been comparing. Scrolling through feeds. Seeing their wins. Their trips. Their perfect lives. And it stings. Not because you want their life. But because you feel like you're not measuring up. Like you're falling short. But their life isn't yours. Their path isn't yours. Their wins aren't yours. And you don't need them to be. You have your own. Quiet ones. Small ones. Real ones. You don't need to chase theirs. You just need to live yours. Pause. Again. You're getting good at this. Feel your breath. Feel your body. Feel the space around you. You're not chasing. You're not running. You're just here. And here is enough. Not because it's perfect, Not because it's solved, just because it's yours. This moment, this breath, this quiet. It's yours, and no one can take it away. You've been waiting for permission. To rest, to slow down, to just be. You've been waiting for the world to say it's okay. For the emails to stop. For the pressure to lift. But the world won't stop. The emails won't stop. The pressure won't lift. And you don't need them to. You can stop. You can slow down. You can be. Right now. Without permission. Without apology. Without explanation. You can just be. You're not your thoughts. You're not your worries. You're not your plans. You're just you. And you're here. Right now. That's all that matters. Not what you did wrong. Not what you could have done better. Not what's coming next. Just this moment, this breath. You don't need to chase the next one. You don't need to fix this one. You just need to live it. Quietly, simply, fully. You've been chasing approval. From your boss, from your friends, from strangers online. You've been tweaking your words, polishing your image, trying to get it right. And it's exhausting. Not because they don't like you, but because you're carrying their opinions. Like a weight, like a chain. What if you let it go? What if you didn't need their nod? What if you just did your thing and let it be? Not for them, but for you. You've had moments of clarity. Moments where it all made sense. Not big moments, not loud moments. Just quiet ones. Like when you finished a project and it felt good. Not because it was perfect, but because you did it. Or when you laughed with a friend and it felt real. Not because it was planned, but because it was easy. Those moments, they weren't chased. They weren't forced. They just happened. Because you were there. Present, open, you. You're checking your phone again. Reflex. Habit. You're looking for something. A message. A notification. A reason to feel okay. But you don't need a reason. You don't need a ping. You don't need a reply. You're okay. Right now, as you are. Not when the message comes. Not when the deal closes. Not when the world notices. Right now, you're enough. You've been angry at yourself for not being faster, for not being smarter, for not being whatever you think you should be. And it's heavy. Not because you're wrong, but because you're carrying it. You're holding onto the anger, the judgment, the need to be different. What if you let it go? Not because you're perfect, but because you don't need to be. You just need to be you, right now. Messy, tired, human. That's enough. You've been planning, always planning. The next step, the next goal, the next version of you. And it's good. You're driven, you're focused. But it's also heavy. Because plans come with pressure, with expectations, with the need to get it right. What if you didn't need to plan it all? What if you could just do today? Just show up, just be. Not forever, just for now. What if today was enough? Pause, feel your breath. In, out. You're here, you're not running. You're not chasing, you're just here. And here is enough. The world's still loud. The emails are still there. The worries haven't gone anywhere. But you don't have to carry them. You don't have to chase them. You can just let them be. And let yourself be. Still, quiet, free. You've been waiting for a moment. A big moment. A moment when it all clicks. When you feel ready. When you feel sure. But those moments, they don't come when you chase them. They come when you're still. When you're open. When you're not trying to force them. You've had them before. That job offer that came out of nowhere. That conversation that changed your perspective. That quiet night when you felt okay. Those weren't planned. They weren't forced. They just found you. Because you were there. You don't need to control it all. You don't need to know it all. You don't need to be it all. You just need to be here. Right now. Doing what you can. Being who you are. And trusting. Not in a loud way. Not in a big way. Just in a quiet way. Trusting that you're enough. Trusting that what's meant for you will find you. Not because you chased it, but because you let it come. You're walking to your car. It's been a long day. Your mind still at the office, still on that email you didn't send, still on that meeting that didn't go as planned. You're chasing again, chasing the perfect day, the perfect response, the perfect you. But you're here, in this parking lot, in this moment. What if you just stayed here, noticed the sound of your steps, the feel of the air, the rhythm of your breath? What if this moment was enough? You've been hard on yourself for not being where you want to be, for not having what you want to have, for not being who you want to be, and it's heavy. Not because you're failing, but because you're carrying it. You're holding on to the judgment, the doubt, the need to be more. What if you let it go? Not because you're perfect, but because you don't need to be. You just need to be you, right now, trying, breathing, being. That's enough. You've been comparing again, scrolling, watching, seeing their lives, their wins, their ease. And it hurts, not because you want to be them, but because you feel like you're not enough, like you're missing something. But you're not. You're just you, and you're here, with your own path, your own moments, your own quiet wins. You don't need their life. You don't need their approval. You just need yours, your life, your breath, your now. Pause. You're good at this now. Feel your breath, feel your body, feel the space you're in. You're not chasing, you're not running. You're just here, and here is enough. Not because it's perfect, not because it's solved, just because it's real. This moment, this breath, this quiet, it's real, and it's yours. You've been waiting for permission to rest, to slow down, to just be. You've been waiting for the world to say it's okay, for the emails to stop, for the pressure to lift, but the world won't stop. The emails won't stop, the pressure won't lift, and you don't need them to. You can stop. You can slow down. You can be. Right now. Without permission. Without apology. Without explanation. You can just be. You're not your thoughts. You're not your worries. You're not your plans. You're just you. And you're here. Right now. That's all that matters. Not what you did wrong. Not what you could have done better. Not what's coming next. Just this. This moment. This breath. You don't need to chase the next one. You don't need to fix this one. You just need to live it. Quietly, simply, fully. You've been chasing approval from your boss, from your friends, from strangers online. You've been tweaking your words, polishing your image, trying to get it right. And it's exhausting. Not because they don't like you, but because you're carrying their opinions. Like a weight, like a chain. What if you let it go? What if you didn't need their nod? What if you just did your thing and let it be? Not for them, but for you. You've had moments of clarity, moments where it all made sense. Not big moments, not loud moments, just quiet ones. Like when you finished a project and it felt good, not because it was perfect, but because you did it. Or when you laughed with a friend and it felt real. System, real. Not because you forced it, but because it was meant to be. You didn't chase it, it found you. And in that moment, you felt something. Not victory, not pride, just ease. A quiet kind of bigness, like you were exactly where you needed to be. You don't need to keep running. You don't need to keep proving. You just need to keep showing up, as you are, with what you have, in this moment. And trust. Not in a loud way. Not in a big way, just in a quiet way. Trust that what's meant for you will find you. Not because you chased it, but because you let it come. The phone's still there, the world's still loud, the emails are still waiting, but you're a little quieter now. Not because you fixed anything, not because you solved anything, but because you stopped running. You stopped chasing, you just let it be. And in that quiet, in that stillness, what's meant for you is already on its way.